welcome back to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. Big welcome back to my beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your support of me. A big thank you to the new subscribers this month, and a big thank you to everyone who has reached out to me on my Etsy platform for a personal reading this month. You guys are amazing, so thank you so much for your trust and for allowing me to get to know you on a personal basis. So thank you guys so much for that. If you have found yourself here for the very first time, we would love to welcome you to this space. I do pick a card readings on this channel, so please pull up and grab yourself some snacks and get cozy, and we'll have a little chat because we're all friends when we gather here together. Today's pick a card reading, we're asking about the person on your mind. Maybe you're in a relationship with this person. It could be no contact. It doesn't really matter what the configuration of the connection is. We're asking about their truest feelings for you. So how do they truly feel for you right this moment? We have 3 piles for you to choose from today. We have pile number 1 here with this blue aragonite. Not aragonite, that's not it. Yes, it is, I think. And we have the magic mirror here. Pile number 2 here with the desert rose, and we have Marasa, which is the lover's energy. We have pile number 3 with the world egg and the red carnelian palm. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be a message waiting from Spirit today, and I'm going to jump right into pile number 1. Again, today we're looking at the true feelings of the person on your mind right this moment. How do they truly feel about you with no filters? Pile number 1. Hello, pile 1. You were drawn to the blue aragonite. I'll just pop it in here, or to the magic mirror, which is the moon card. And this is your reading. The person on your mind, what are their truest feelings for you right this moment without any filter? How are they truly feeling for you? You were drawn to the magic mirror card, and this is, these cards are from a deck called I believe it's called the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. But you can see with the moon, it's all about reflection. It's all about someone who's in consistent thought of you and how they have suppressed a lot. If we were to hold a mirror up in front of them, I feel like they would feel very, very vulnerable because they're worried that everything's going to be shown or brought to light, and they're really scared of things coming to light too, because it's like there's a lot of emotional investment with the moon. It's ruled by Scorpio, so there's so much emotion surrounding how they feel, but they push it down. And sometimes they could push it down because they don't want to deal with it, or because it's too much to deal with, or they're really afraid of what lies beyond that veil. Like they're really afraid of bringing everything to light because they don't know how it will be received, or they don't know how to create change in some way. So we'll see how that flows into your reading today. How does the person on your mind, pile 1, we already have the 8 of Swords. Oh, how does the person on your mind truly feel in this moment? No filters. They feel very, very stuck. And they're not saying that they didn't put themselves in the position that they're in. They did, but they're still feeling stuck. They don't know how to navigate out. Yeah, there's the Hanged Man. They don't know how to navigate out of the situation that they find themselves in with you. And this, it trickles down to fear in most cases, but they are, because they can't find solutions, it's like they've become accustomed to where they're sitting in life when it comes to this connection and it comes to you. They do not want to give up hope that there could be more here, but there are certain complications that are getting in the way that we cannot ignore them. It's like the elephant in the room. We cannot ignore the elephant in the room. And that elephant is going to take many different forms depending upon your scenario, because I'm dealing with collective energy, but there's an elephant in the room that we can't ignore. And despite the elephant in the room, they do want to hold on to that hope. They do want to hold on to that hope. But they are, like, there's heartbreak. Here's the 3 of Swords. There is heartbreak. And for someone watching, this elephant in the room could be their position, for instance, or just whatever is holding them back, whatever they feel is in the way. But it is something significant, and it is something big. So we can't just skirt around the issue, Spirit says. We can't skirt around the issue. They're really afraid to bring their feelings to light, because there's a certain amount of control coming in with the Emperor. There's Taurus energy. Here's the 3 of Wands with the 7 of Swords. So all of these feelings coming in, all of these messages coming from your person are coming in from this suppression. They're drawing it out. They're pulling down the moon, drawing it down, and they're pulling out all of these messages because they want it to come out. They need it to come out. It feels like a purge. They need it to come out, but they're also very guarded when it comes to their environment, and they're protective. The Emperor wants to protect. Sometimes what he chooses to protect, though, will fall away. You know, it's like when we choose to protect something that perhaps doesn't have a lot of emotional abundance, but has a lot of practical stability. You know, we have to remember that practical things belong to the earth realm and they will return to nature like everything else. It's the emotional ascension, it's the lessons, it's the love that we can take with us. But this person spends a lot of time hiding their feelings. And I don't think even just their feelings for you. I feel like they're coming across as being almost macho. There's a machismo coming in from them. And unfortunately, we have done the collective have done a disservice to the masculine energy, to the divine masculine, because we have perpetrated this belief that showing emotion, showing vulnerability is a weakness, but this person does not like to show emotion. And unfortunately, you really create a lot of emotion in them. Nine of Wands. And they feel like they're in a holding pattern. Like they feel like they're in this Groundhog Day loop where they're going through the motions. They're living the same situation every single day, and their emotions are in this loop too. Their thoughts are in a loop of you. And there is exhaustion associated with it. It's like, I'm just so tired of nothing ever changing. But it's this exhaustion, it's the perpetuation of the discomfort that's supposed to light a fire or light the fuse to get us to push back a little bit. It's like when someone's poking a bear. Eventually the bear is going to rile up and fight back. And that's what is perhaps what they're being pushed towards, is to create change in their environment. Because here's the King of Pentacles. Very strong earth energy with this person. They could be a Taurus. King of Wands. The truth is that it's like they may be practically somewhere. Physically, their body is somewhere. But their emotions, their fire, their heart may belong somewhere else. Belongs to you. And the issue here is that the King of Wands is a planner, is a doer, but there's a reality that stands in the way of what he wants to plan. The other issue comes in, there's the Tower. The other issue comes in is that he also wanted this. He also wanted this position. And it's like, I often use that analogy of climbing the mountain. We all start climbing mountains. We all have all of these collective ideas of all of these points that we have to match. All of these points of contact that we have to hit these peaks, or else we're out of line. We're not in alignment with our ascension in this realm. We're not on track with our goals. If we don't create a lot of coin, for instance, if we don't build a huge foundation for ourselves, then that means we've lacked somewhere. We haven't done our job. But we need to detach from that and instead focus upon our emotional ascension, which can come right along with the practical realm as well. We can have abundance and happiness at the same time. There's room for everything. But it's like this person can't figure out how to navigate everything, and they want everything. And that everything includes you. We cannot ignore the Tower because that's the elephant in the room. That's the fear of change and upheaval that we can't return from. And that's what they don't want to cause pain. They are already perpetuating pain for themselves, and they don't want to spread that around. But once we sort of face the mirror, once we face the magic mirror, we draw down our fears and we face them head on, we are met with the sun. You know, the sun comes after the moon in the major arcana. So if we can make it through a dark night, then we can figure out solutions. We can make it to the dawn of that new day. And there is a message even coming in from this person where they're truly going to hold on to this connection forever. Like there's no shaking you. We have the Ten of Cups reversed. So we have the Fool on the back of the deck, and we have this Seven of Cups. So this person fantasizes about reunions all of the time. And they also think about where they went wrong in their path. Again, they're taking onus for where they're sitting in life. They're saying, I know I entered into this willingly and voluntarily. Good intentions were set. But again, we're not going to ignore the elephant in the room, because for somebody watching, this person is married or is a third party. The Ten of Cups is reversed with the Emperor. They're trying to protect an environment that's not perhaps giving them emotional fulfillment, but they feel like they're offering stability or fulfillment for others. And so there's a certain amount of even innocence about that. Like there's something kind about that. There's something gentle about this person. But they are, I can't deny that they are using that as a little bit of a scapegoat. So they're saying that this is the big elephant in the room, that it's difficult. It is difficult, but it's not insurmountable. It challenges them to change directions, but it's not insurmountable. But it is going to take a leap of faith. And it's like they don't feel like they can. There's the Two of Swords. It's like they don't realize. Two of Swords, you can see they're blindfolded. They're covering their heart chakra. It's like, I really want to speak to you. It's like they don't realize right now that they have the power to create change. It's just going to take a lot of risk for them. And right this moment, in this very moment, because we're dealing with how are they truly feeling right this moment, you know, it's like the temptation of you, it almost trumps the consequences in this moment. But those consequences hit them like a ton of bricks. Every time they kind of hope for more, the elephant in the room comes over the top to remind them why they're hesitating. How does the person on your mind truly feel? What are their true feelings for you right this moment with no filter? We have here Red Garden. I think of the Eight of Wands when I see this card, because there is definitely a pressure building for this person to act upon their frustrations. And this Nine of Wands is encouraging them to push back against this prison, to find solutions. And that's what you're sort of inspiring them to do. Even here with the surrender of the Hanged Man, there's a sense of this almost smoke. It's like the smoke coming up. Where there's smoke, there's fire, which means they can't really surrender to this environment forever, because the fire, the spark is not going to go away because they keep holding on to it. So as much as they're trying to surrender to it, it's really, really difficult. It's just causing that pressure to build. We have the Observer on the back of the deck. It's number 50, it's 50, which is challenges. You can see this person is sitting here trying to get the perfect shot, watching. So this person could be watching you, but waiting for the perfect opportunity. Waiting for the perfect opportunity. And above her head are a bunch of dandelion plumes flying off into the ethereal. So it's like they're waiting for the perfect chance, and that's their wish, is for the world to open up in a perfect way, for the two of you to enter into some sort of relationship seamlessly. But that's the real challenge, is to come to the realization that we create our own opportunities. That if we wait for a perfect opportunity, we will be waiting forever, because perfection is in the eye of the beholder, you know, and we have to be the force that creates momentum. How are they truly feeling for pile number 1, please? We have here purification through water. It says emotional cleansing and rejuvenation. And there is a sense of needing healing, you know, needing to start back at square one, needing to go to the base of a new mountain. And that's really what they're hoping to do, but it's going to take a lot of vulnerability. You can see the Fool here, looks like it's cannonballing into a big bucket of water, into a big pool of water. It's like taking a big deep dive. And it's a reminder too, I just got reminded from Spirit that there's that old, I don't know if it's a wives' tale, never tried it, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you put a baby in a pool of water, that it can hold its breath, you know, that a baby naturally has this ability to hold its breath underwater. And there's a sense of just kind of taking that deep dive and trusting that we're going to be caught on the other side. But it seems like a fantasy, that they're unable to push themselves to practically take the steps needed to create that fantasy and bring it into fruition. Back of the deck says tree of life, fertility, creativity, destiny, and magical blessings. The tree is like the 10 of Pentacles for me, or 10 of Cups. We have the Emperor here represented by the tree, which is a solid foundation, somebody who's trying to protect an environment. And along the tree trunk here is all the elements that the Magician would wield, the control over all of the elements. So this person's trying to also maintain the control over their experience. And ultimately, they are using certain things as scapegoats as to why they can't take that leap of faith, but they do like to control their experience as well. How did I truly feel for pile number 1, please? They say that they love you. The truth is that they love you and they're afraid to contact you. They go over and over in their mind all of the conversations that you've had. They're really afraid of the consequences of that Tower, and they're suffering because of it. I will wait for a sign from you, because they are sort of detaching from their own responsibility of having to create the change. They're just fantasizing about it at this moment, and it's like they don't feel prepared. The Fool comes in as this childlike energy, and it's like we don't feel prepared. It often is showcased this young person with just a little sack to take with them with bare essentials. I wish I could take back my words, but it's a beautiful evidence of sort of the task that we take on as children, as babies, even coming into this realm. We show up with nothing, but we've made it this far. So it should provide sort of the strength we need, the encouragement we need to take leaps of faith along the way, because we've been sort of thrust into unknowns since the very beginning. We have just being near you is intoxicating, and this person really feels like you are this temptation. And they're really regretting their choices in the past. They say the timing just wasn't right for us. And they're also saying that the timing may not be right now, but they're waiting for that perfect time. And unfortunately, that perfect time is never going to sort of automatically show up. We have here Tiger, doing something risky and taking a chance. I feel like this person is keeping tabs on you on social media potentially, because there's a lot of awareness here. There's a lot of like visualization. It's like they're watching, even with the magic mirror, eyes out. We have the Tiger. It says doing something risky, taking a chance with the Fool, and then we have here period of prosperity and abundance. So this is the back and forth. This is the tug of war that they're experiencing. Should I risk it all? Should I risk my stability? Should I risk it all? And what are the consequences of those actions? We have here mountain on the back, major challenge to overcome. A big elephant in the room here. How do they truly feel for pile number 1, please? Friends with benefits. It's like, if I can't have you in any capacity, let me have you in a fiery way here. We have here, I made a lot of wrong decisions. So kicking themselves for the choices that they made. I really want to feed my curiosity. Wanting to, and I feel like they maybe didn't explore this path. For someone watching, it's like you guys should have leapt and you didn't. And this is the harshest lesson. It says, I am waiting for your call. And they say that they're waiting for a sign from you. So they may not want to create havoc in your environment. And it's like they're pushing off the responsibility. It's like, I don't want the ball, you take the ball. It's in your court now. Do you ever feel the same, or did you ever feel the same? Because I think you might be my soulmate. And the back of the deck says, you make it easy to fall in love with you. Let's end on a charm bowl for you, pile number 1. If you're new to the channel, I end each pile with a charm cast. I start with Teeny Tiny Tarot, and then I move into my charms, but I always encourage everyone who's watching to see what they see in the charm bowl. I have meanings for my charms, but I always encourage you to see what you see, because perhaps a pineapple means something different to you than it does to me, for instance. In the bowl today, 4 of Wands, King of Cups, Hanged Man reverse. So this person's a little bit, I don't want to say that it's like they feel like they're self-sacrificing, but there's also a victim mentality surrounding it too, because this Hanged Man could literally walk away from his post at this point. He's upside down. He could just walk away, but he looks like a 4. He's really insecure about his position or his There's a home situation potentially here. This person is expressing a lot of love, but they are saying that because of this fear, because of their responsibilities, they're kind of having to turn their back on their emotion, even though they're recognizing that this connection should have and could have taken them into an emotionally fulfilling situation. And now they're presenting themselves as the King of Cups, which is interesting because they were the King of Pentacles here and the King of Wands, but now they're presenting as this loving king. Friends with benefits. It should have been more. Spirit says it should have been more. We have friend and we have in. That was the in this relationship, perhaps. We have the owl looking at things from a higher perspective, and we have a lot of temptation with the lipstick. We have the letter E, and we have a charm that says live, laugh, and love. It's about finding joy in the journey and embracing the journey. It's also speaking, brings my awareness to the Temperance card. So a longevity, it's like a long wait. A connection that seems written in the stars, and we have closure issues here. It's like we need to gain information or talk to each other. We have the ice pick chipping away at a cool exterior. And I think about the Queen of Swords with that ice pick. So you could be an air element, perhaps an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini. All right, pile one, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. If it did, I'd love to hear your story below in the comment section, and I would love for you to subscribe to the channel by hitting your notification bell and your like button. If you do all of those things and drop me that comment, I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me, and I'm drawing a name for that this weekend, so be sure to drop your comment and hit your notification bell so that I can notify you if you're chosen. Congratulations to this month's winner. You can also check me out for a private reading on Etsy, and that link is below as well. But I hope that you come back here for another visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to the Desert Rose, or perhaps to the Marasa card here, and it's the Lover's energy in the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. And this is your reading. The person on your mind, how do they truly feel for you right this moment with no filter? The Lovers is about attraction, physical attraction, emotional attraction, even spiritual attraction as well is embodied in this card. It can sometimes speak about indecision as well, and having to make that choice. You know, do we fuel this attraction? Do we enter into it, or do we deny ourselves? Because it really feels like a denial when we avoid this type of attraction. There's 3 little cups sitting underneath this couple here, and it's like laying bare, like they're naked, so it's like laying bare the truth. Sometimes we have to make difficult choices within the Lovers. It is ruled by Gemini, so that can be a sign that is common to you or the person on your mind as well. So we'll see what your person has to say today. What are their true feelings at this very moment for pile 2, please? How do they truly feel? Got a lot going on so far. Just kind of, oh. So we're going to start throwing these down and see what happens here. So the Hanged Man is here with the 2 of Cups and the 9 of Wands. The Hierophant. So for someone watching, because I'm dealing with collective energy, this Lovers is speaking with the 3 of Cups to potentially someone who is married, or institutions are are influencing this connection. And it's not in a relationship at this moment. It doesn't feel like a relationship. It feels like there was big, strong epiphanies that came in for this person because they hesitated in the past. It's like that song by Passenger that, you know, you only miss the light when it's burning low. That's what I'm hearing. You only miss the light when it's burning low. And so they didn't realize what they had sitting in front of them. They didn't appreciate the opportunity. And that realization has hit them about who you are, and they're starting to really understand the connection itself. They're starting to understand the connection. The Magician. There's a lot of big themes here too for you, pile 2, which means you've had a profound influence on this person, and you continue and will continue to have a profound influence. Even back of deck is there's the Judgment. There's your Lover's energy as well. And I feel like there's a 7 of Swords. I want to switch decks now. I want to switch so that I can keep these big themed energies because they're important they're important to acknowledge, because there's the Four of Cups, and that's what they're speaking of, is their true feelings for you are, it's like they're kicking themselves. They've had this revelation. And I just heard, Spirit uses music a lot for me, so I just heard, I've been having revelations, I've come out the other side. It's like that Super Bloom, Mr. Wives Super Bloom song is coming into my mind now. So it's like they've had these revelations after they came out on the other side of your connection. And they're like, I understand now why I was so drawn to you. I understand the temptation. I was lying to myself. I wasn't being honest with myself or you. And I didn't take advantage of an opportunity that was sitting right in front of my face. And I didn't understand who you were to me at that moment. It's like they're starting to understand the intensity of the connection and how it may, the reasons behind why it feels so intense. They're really starting to understand the spiritual connection here, because even the Six of Cups is there. Even the Six of Cups, the Lovers, the Judgment, the Magician, the Empress. There's just so many themes. They're very attracted to you still too. So that's, in the past, they're saying that that's why they hesitated, was because they felt like they paled in comparison to you. And it's like you cast a pretty big shadow. So they were intimidated. Seven of Cups. And they really thought that they had more time. It's like time was very fleeting in the past too. And they really thought they had more time, and they were like working on it. It's like there's this frustration in them. It's like kicking themselves, because in their memory, they're saying to themselves, I was just about to say something. I was just about to step forward. I was just about to reach out and make something happen, when all of a sudden it was flipped out from underneath me. So they have a smidgen of a victim mentality about that. They have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder about that, because they feel like there's a lot of desire here, a lot of sort of perhaps plans that fell through, like a lot of inspired thought that went unignited. And so now they're super frustrated with themselves and with the situation, and they really thought that they had more time. But that's what happens when we lay in complacency, or we just fantasize without doing. It's the difference between a groundhog sort of looping day and ascension and movement. And the Hierophant now, it's like they realized the steps that they didn't take and where it could have left them. The Knight of Swords. But they're saying, they're like, I was just trying to gather as much information. They just wanted to know that it was mutual. And I feel like they were concerned that it wasn't mutual. I think it was, but their ego wouldn't let them go there. Their ego wouldn't let them have that, have that little bit of confidence. And now they really wish that they could almost return from the dead. If you look at the Judgment, it's like rising from the grave. And this makes me think of the Red Cross with this Red Cross flag here. It makes me think of the healing energy. It's like I would do things so differently if I could go back and do it all over again. And they think about that, even in their current position. Page of Pentacles. They feel like they're too late, and that's the issue, is that they feel like they're too late. I feel like in the past this person could have been, and this is just for someone specific, and I don't even know why it's being brought up to me, but I feel like they were super sarcastic with you in a really, maybe even a sexual way sometimes, but just really sarcastic. It's like you didn't know if they were joking or not. And sometimes when they said sarcastic things involving their emotions with you, they were telling the truth, but they passed it off as a joke or something. And it could have been self-deprecating too. To test the waters, that's what it feels like. They're testing the waters with you to see if you felt the same way. And they were never feeling justified enough to be like, I have these feelings for you. But the thing is that there is a really unique connection here, and I think that you're just as invested emotionally, and you were then too. I think you've been just as focused, and I think that there's almost, with Six of Cups, the Queen of Cups, there's like this permanent love. I feel like you may have grown up with this person, or you would have gone to school with them potentially, because there's this ascension from youth to more, to to be grown and to be ascended, and I do feel like the Divine Feminine's position in life at this moment is a factor for this person being able to communicate to you. So this Hierophant, this indecision concerning our practical realm. It doesn't have to include third party, but this ascension in the, or a position in the practical realm. There's something about the position. There's some sort of, maybe even an institution that's in the way of future communication or opportunity now, because the wolves are howling at the moon, and it's 3 wolves within the Page of Pentacles here. So for someone, either the Divine Feminine or this person, it could be a marriage that's in the way, and they don't want to create havoc there. So it's like they're suffering in it. Because this person has a victim mentality. They have a victim mentality, and they're holding on. So it could be the Divine Feminine here that's involved in a position that doesn't allow wiggle room. And I also see motherhood for someone too in their current position. So take that as it resonates. We have the High Priestess with the 6 of Pentacles. They really, they're kicking themselves because they wish that they hadn't let insecurity or fear of rejection stop them from expressing their truth and the hidden energy that they felt, because they were hiding their feelings for you here, and now they still feel like they have to suppress those feelings for you now. Perhaps because of your environment, perhaps because of theirs, maybe a combination of 2. This position, this environment could just be the ego, of course, so take it as it resonates to your situation. But they are wanting to communicate with you. They still want to communicate with you. And even the Sun here, because they want to bring the clarity that has eluded the situation. They want to take a risk now and tell you how they felt then. That's what they really want to do. There's still those lingering fears of insecurity. And for someone watching, this person might actually do it. This Sun, there's the Magician. Yeah, they might actually do it. This Rabbit, it's like the Page of Wands, leaping down new pathways. There's fear associated with it, but the rewards, because it will bring about clarity, and sometimes that clarity can lead to brand new beginnings, because this person is still holding on to that hope. They're still holding on to this hope that there could be more between the 2 of you. But I think it's almost like they're waiting for you to end something, or they're waiting for clearance from you. We have Zen Garden, Inner Sanctuary. And that's where all of the abundance lies, is inside of themselves, like this dream realm where they dream of what could have been or what could be still, because they're not wanting to let go of the potential. We have Jewel within a Teardrop, appreciation, spiritual and emotional reconnection. And back of the deck says rising above. It says clarity, freedom, and solutions. And they do want to find solutions. They don't want things to end this way. They may have surrendered to how things are at this moment because they don't feel like they have any other opportunity or position to create change, but they're holding the potential in a very special, safe place that they don't want to be disturbed. And they are hoping to find, they're trying to find solutions. They're trying to figure out solutions. And that brings us right back to the Lovers and the Judgment, because this is all about reflection and trying to create awareness, trying to see things from every angle so we can find a way out. So we can find a way out, we can find a way to help each other ascend and at least create emotional clearance for ourselves. How do they truly feel right this moment? I filtered for pile number 2. We have here chain. It says a chain of events that will affect your life. And they think about that. They think about, the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon in your connection and the past, and how all of these steps and missteps and all of these things that trickled into your current situation. And I feel like they're watching you be so abundant. Like there's something just so abundant about the Divine Feminine here. We have Skull, the secrets that can harm you. And we have here Dog, protection from a powerful friend. And when we're dealing with that 6 of Cups, when we're dealing with someone who didn't sort of apply pressure to an opportunity in the past, this could have started as a friendship. So take that as it resonates to your situation. They were afraid of that rejection, but ultimately they ended up almost rejecting themselves because they hesitated. It says hidden secrets that can harm you. They kept all of that suppressed, all of their hidden agenda, all of their feelings. They kept it behind the veil. but ultimately it created a lot more grief than they ever could have anticipated. It created more grief by the avoidance than they would have experienced in the rejection itself. And you know, they're still holding space for you. They're still holding space for the potential of more clarity, or in the very least, they want to communicate with you again. Whoop. Explosion here. We have, I left because you told me to. I left because you told me to. Your family won't like you, won't like me, sex with you. Your family won't like me, and I think that something about the Divine Feminine having a family or children, so take that as it resonates. This person didn't want this to remain in an innocent realm. They wanted more, and they still think about that too. They're not bringing forward a lot of fire energy other than the Lovers here, but you are some sort of temptation. They are too afraid. They are too afraid to talk, and they were too afraid to talk. And I just wish things were different. And it sort of brings my awareness to the Chariot, which is number 7, about decisions. It's like wishing we could go back to the past, wishing that we could conquer the past, wishing we could move forward into a future. I can't even look at you right now, the 5 of Swords. And I often like really take this literally. It's like there's a separation, a physical separation, and somebody who is avoiding because they don't want to create conflict, but I feel like they don't want to create conflict for you. Truly feel, please, this moment for pile number 2. I have changed. So they've grown, they've evolved, and I'm making plans, but I need time. So patience will be afforded to you, but I do feel for someone that this person might sort of pop up in your life with some type of communication because they're really keen on clearing out confusion. That smile, though, something enigmatic about your smile. They can't get it out of their mind. I think you have dimples. I feel like you might have dimples. I don't know. It just came to my mind. I can still hear your laugh. I know that I messed up back then. And we also have here, I would have a family with you too. And you know, I got that message as we were going through, and I almost hesitated to say it because this person fantasizes if you have children. They fantasize that they would be the one who had children with you. Like it's like they know that they could have given you the life that you have. It's like you could have had this life with them, especially if you resonate with that message that you have a family. We have third-party interference on the back of that deck. Let's get a charm bowl for you. Pile number 2. Pile number 2, what messages does their person have for them in the bowl? The Devil reverse, sexual energy. Wanting, there's a temptation here, but there's also potentially an attachment to a negative environment that we need to detach from. I also feel like this person needed to detach from their own insecurities in the past with this connection because that's what held back all of the potential, was their fear, the stress, and all of the inconsistent messages that their ego is fueling at them. Stopped this torpedo from shooting forward, you know, and now that's just a pressure that's building. They still want to communicate, but they are still a little bit stressed about it, but they're really gearing up for some type of movement. I feel like they're really gearing up, but there's almost stress about it, and I almost feel like someone watching is stressed about that too. It's like, I don't know if I'm ready for them to reach out. Ooh, a lot of letters today for you, pile 2. We have here Blanche Devereaux on the Golden Girls little dice. This is from one of my subscribers, Jessica. So thank you, Jessica, for these Golden Girls dice. I love them so much. You have no idea. We have Dream. We have Full. You are the Dream. That Empress sits on her throne for a reason. We have D and I and R and M and G and X. So I think of Blanche Devereaux, I think of fire, because she was the fiery Golden Girl. And the 3 of Wands, it's like 3 of Wands, wanting expansion. We have the work element here, or school with the paper clip. We have the stagnation with the anchor, but it's surrounded by the zero of the Fool. So it's like the lack of leaping caused the stagnation, and now that's what's really kind of halting the success too. We have a commandment from the Bible that says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house." All right. That is what I have for you today, pile 2. If that resonated with you, I'd love to hear your story below in the comment section. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel as well and become a member of our beautiful soul family here. If you do subscribe, be sure to hit your notification bell and drop me a comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. I'm going to be drawing one of those names this weekend, so be sure to drop your comment below any of my videos this month. But I hope that you come back here for another visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile number 3. You were drawn to the red carnelian palm, or perhaps to the world egg here, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, what is their true feelings for you right this moment with no filter? This is the Fool, the world egg, which is interesting because it has this big serpent with this big egg of potential. And, you know, when we have potential, we have to take the leap. We have to crack that potential open and take a risk. And so this connection could involve some sort of risk. It could involve a risk that wasn't taken, a risk that should be taken perhaps, and the rewards that can sort of meet us halfway when we do take leaps of faith. So let's take a look here. How does your person truly feel for you right this moment? What are their true feelings for you right this moment? The serpent is also sort of this image of eternity. You know, it reminds me of the cosmic egg with the serpent around it as well, the world egg. That the world is talking about success, but it's only contingent upon us taking that leap of faith. How does your person currently feel? The person on your mind, how do they truly feel right this moment for pile 3, please? The Hermit. The Hanged Man. The Six of Wands. The Star, it's sort of reversed. I'm going to leave it in the reverse position. How do they truly feel right this moment? I feel like in this case, appearances can be really deceiving. This person feels really shy to me and really reserved in their energy. And I almost feel like when they wage war within themselves, it is within themselves. They don't extrapolate their feelings. The Tower. And what's interesting to me about this is the fact that their hope is waning for some reason in this connection, and they are potentially watching you. You could have gone to school with this person as well. Here's the Three of Wands. There's a practicality about this person. They're very pragmatic. You know, they're very, what they would call themselves realistic. And I'm going to clarify this in a moment. They would call themselves realistic. Sometimes that can be sort of confused with pessimistic at times, because they are thinking logically. It's like they're trying to gain clarity over the past. They are a logical person. They're trying to figure things out. And I feel like they spend a lot of time reflecting about you, but they definitely wear masks in their environment. Let's clarify this Hermit. This person feels like a seeker of knowledge or something. It's like they're still trying to figure things out. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the King of Pumpkins. And I feel like they have surrendered to how things are. Even here with the Page of Swords, you see the bird on his finger, on her finger. It's perched, it's not flying anywhere. It's like you feel far away, and they're aware of that. You feel very far away, but I keep hearing that Maggie Rogers Light On song, because look at the far distance. You can see the light on in that tower, and it's like there's always going to be a light on for you, no matter where they go or where their life takes them. And I feel like they have, honestly, they've gained a lot. We have World at the back of the deck. They've gained a lot, but you can see the bones that are forming the Fool here. It's like they still have a bone to pick in the past when it comes to you. There's still something that they feel like is missing, despite them feeling like they took very practical, logical steps. And they are admitting that they were perhaps delayed a little bit too long in bringing forth their offer to you in the past. It's like they wanted to present themselves in the past to you as someone perfect. It's like they were trying to build up the courage. They wanted to present you with this really beautiful offer, and they were really insecure about that. Four of Pumpkins. I feel like this person is really secure in their position. You may be very secure in your position as well, and they're aware of your position because they are watching. They're keeping tabs on you. But it's because of this awareness that they are feeling a little bit helpless in how to create change without creating upheaval. You know, there's a difference between change and like permanent change that is chaotic and, you know, causes turmoil and havoc for other people involved too, because I feel like this person's extrapolating their concern for others. So they understand, because they're a logical person, they're a thoughtful person, they understand what steps have to be taken, and I feel like they're wearing masks in their current environment. I keep going back to that, but I feel like they're wearing masks in their environment. They're really concerned about the opinions of other people, and they're concerned about the opinions of other people in association with you. The Eight of Swords. Back of the deck is the Magician and the Ten of Swords. Now, when we have energy like the Magician and the Ten of Swords, in this case, the Magician is holding on to the rabbit by his ears. He's pulling that rabbit out of a hat. And the hat, this big tall hat, is the status symbols. This is what makes this person complacent, is a positionary thing. For you, for them, it doesn't really matter what the obstacle is. It just feels like position. And they're afraid to venture down that path. They're afraid of what the collective will think of them venturing down that path. And so they are sort of giving their power over to the surrender in their attempt to control things and to maintain control of their environment. They're actually losing a little bit of control over their emotional and spiritual experience by giving all the power over to the ego realm. And this Ten of Swords is talking about their loss of focus on the path. So as much as they're trying to be practical and they're trying to be thoughtful and they feel like they're taking the logical steps now when it comes to their feelings for you, because there's the page again watching you, they're missing the mark a little bit, because the Ten of Swords is not 100% clarity. It's emotional pain. It's an emotional response. It's someone who needs to make it through this dark night so they can see the clarity of tomorrow. It is a release card, and I do feel like this person has attempted to move forward. Even here, the Three of Wands, they're trying to climb that ladder in a state of truth. The Justice is about taking on new positions as well. So they've jumped through the hoops of the expectations of the collective, so to speak. And you may have as well. They don't know what solutions to create without creating that havoc. So it's like they may not reach out to you. For instance, they're just feeling really restricted, and they are saying to me, you know, I made all of this happen. I put myself in this bed, and now I have to kind of lie in this bed. And it's not even, I don't even want to put it like that, because it doesn't feel like a negative bed. They do sort of claim some victory over their position in life. They feel justified. They feel secure. This King of Pentacles is very comfortable in his position, but it's lacking emotion. And it's the emotion he or she left in the past. And I say he just because the King of Pentacles was in my mind's eye, but has nothing to do with gender, has everything to do with energy. They left their emotions in the past, because that's where their strength, that's where their biggest strength actually lies, and their biggest weakness too. So that's the hurdle they have to overcome to find that strength of emotional vulnerability. But they left that hurdle here. And so they keep, even here with the Page of Swords, they keep looking backwards. They keep looking backwards, even though they're trying to charge ahead with the Knight of Swords. They keep looking behind themselves. And they don't know how to create solutions. So the Ten of Swords is talking about the ending of a cycle, because they feel stuck. But it's not seeming to stop their feelings. It's not seeming to stop their persistent reflection of you. They have surrendered in their position right now, but if you look at her feet, they're all red. It's like it's a difficult journey. That even that is hard. It's hard work to even just surrender, because their crown chakra is all lit up with you. And because they try to suppress their feelings for you, because they keep them under wraps a little bit, it's interesting when the Hanged Man is here, because if their crown chakra is all lit up with you and they're trying to push their feelings for you down, when they're in the Hanged Man position, it just all comes flooding back to the crown. It's like their efforts seem a little bit fruitless. We have, it is safe for you to love. Open your heart and give and receive the highest energy of all. And that's what they avoided. They didn't know in the past if it was. And I feel like they were sometimes there's this energy. We saw the Knight of Swords wanting to rush in to say how we feel, but this person's more careful, and I feel like they're shyer or something. They're more reserved. It's like they were finished gathering what they needed to gather. And if you look down here in front of the Knight, there's the cat staring up at the horse, telling him what he needs in order to keep that momentum going. Otherwise, this ghost, it's like this ghost that's sitting right in front of is going to start to follow. Makes me think of the Wisp of the Woods. True love, this is the romance of a lifetime. And we also have here, let go of control issues, allow the situation to unfold naturally. And that's exactly what I feel like this person's doing. I feel like they have released control. This Ten of Swords says they're releasing this expectation of more. They're releasing control. They're surrendering to their position. The stars reversed. They have some lack of hope coming in. But part of them, a deep part of them, does wish for some sort of beautiful opening, some sort of epiphany, some sort of tower moment. But that's also what they're fearing. It's like it's like, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. But there is a hesitation in moving forward. We have rising above in reverse. It says clarity, freedom, and solution. But that's the issue. We have attachment, breaking free from a negative attachment or fear. And that's what they feel. It's like they fear that this situation is holding them emotionally prisoner. And in a sense, it's not the connection itself, but they've done that to themselves because they left their emotion in the past. They need peace. I feel like there's a restlessness. They wish for closure, but they don't know how to create solutions right now. So they're just trying to make the best out of their environment that they're in. We have Night Wind. This person thinks about you a lot. Facing fear, subconscious release, and healing. Their true feelings for pile 3, please. We have here Purse, paying attention to their finances. And I will say this, King of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. This person's focused on growth, focused on foundation, focused on coin. A workaholic maybe to distract themselves. And that's where all of these status symbols and all of the fear of the unknown and all of the fear of collective opinion falling down on us comes from when we focus so much and we give all of our power over to the purse. Which is hard to resist, it's hard to resist the freedom that can represent, in a practical sense. And it's a great distraction. We have Bag. It says here something important such as a new job or raise, but we have here Fly, a period of ill health and depression, and Gong, an exciting event. Back of the deck says Cracked Cup, dissatisfaction with life. So they're acting really, really abundant, and I think there's a lot of abundance around them. I think there's a lot of abundance for them to be grateful for around them, but it's like there's still something missing. They have lots of coin, but it's like there's no excitement. And this period of ill health and depression, there's the depression comes in with the star reversed. Feeling ignored, feeling left out of a really important emotional experience, feeling left out of excitement in your life, wondering what has gone on in your life, wondering what they've missed as well, where this could have gone with the potential of the World Egg. And overall, it's created a lot of dissatisfaction and a need for healing. It's like they really need the healing that comes along after the Ten of Swords. They need that clarity because it brings along with it the precipitation of a new cycle with the Ace of Swords, which is truths that come in that can sometimes be painful, but we can sort of lead from a healing energy from that point. How do they truly feel for pile 3 at this moment, please? I don't know how much longer I can do this. because you are a goddess, and that's the Emperor, the Empress. I didn't realize that I loved you until it was too late. And that's how they feel. They feel like it's too late now. But I want to see you again. It did come out reversed because I feel like they don't know if that's going to happen. You do consume their thoughts. Back of the deck says, I knew the first moment that I saw you that there was something special. And yet they still hesitated. I also have, I don't want anyone to get hurt underneath that deck. How do they truly feel for pile number 3, please? I made a lot of mistakes in this connection. I think about you when I'm alone. When they're working, I feel like they think about you quite a bit. Reality has hit me like a ton of bricks. I want to reach out to you, but I am scared. Scared of that tower, and it creates permanent change that they can't turn back from. And that's what's really scary, because they've spent a lot of time and investment building that tower up. I don't want to create havoc in your life right now. Are these feelings mutual? And we also have, are you mad at me, coming out as well. Back of the deck says friends with benefits. So take that as it resonates. There could be, as I said, there could be a school connection here with all of these pages coming through too. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile 3. Oof, this charm bowl is getting heavier and heavier. Charm bowl, please, for pile number 3. If their person could say anything in the bowl, what would they say at this moment? 2 of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and the 6 of Swords. Oh, they've waited so long to kind of express how they feel for you, and they know that now is not the time to bring forward that information, so they feel like it's going to stay in a perpetual state of limbo, because they're saying that I have a lot of things I need to get off of my chest, and it's like, you're the only one who can provide me with the answers I need. Whoops. You're the only one who can provide me with the answers I need. There's a lot of juggling with the 2 of Pentacles. It's like I don't have my feet solidly on the ground, or I have a lot of responsibilities, or I have options in my life, but I can't seem to break free from this attachment, no matter how much I try to suppress it. Oops. In the bowl, ooh, almost hit my little, there we go. In the bowl today, we have the letter T. We have an airplane, so there could be a significant distance between the 2 of you. We have the rolling pin. I think about domestic energy, motherhood, baking, needing to iron things out as well. We have a commandment from the Bible that says, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. We have a pineapple for friendship and reunions. And we have the love between a grandmother and a granddaughter is forever. So somebody's grandmother in spirit has come forward in the bowl today too. We have a connection written in the stars here. We do have the pirate's flag. And I think about the devil energy. I think about attachment. I think about piracy. You know, someone coming in to take away something that doesn't belong to them as well. It's like obsession and addiction, waving a flag. And we have 3 of Pentacles. So somebody currently building up a foundation of coin, something practical in their life as well. All right, pile 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. If it did, I'd love to hear your story below, and I would love for you to subscribe to the channel and join our beautiful family here if you feel called to. If you do subscribe, be sure to drop that comment and hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. I'll be drawing a name for that this weekend, and I want to congratulate this month's winner. But I also would love for you to come back here and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a beautiful day.